Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. This is a sponsored video by Primitive Society Simulator, which is a brand new colony sim game with the same idea as Going Medieval and RimWorld. And to be honest, it is a really fun game. However, it is at some points very slow. And to be honest, I do enjoy the game. So one thing we can randomize their outfits. Oh, it just randomizes their look. Okay. The things you forget. That's perfect stats. That's near perfect. Let's see. Can we get mid-range again? We had a 6 and a 5. Ooh, I went too fast. All right, yeah, that'll do. Thorkar, Bora. Let's do that. 5 int, 10 vitality. That's good for me. Let's go and do 8 and 8. Oh boy, my guy, Graknar. Hail. Let's get a good face for Graknar. Before we get into the thick of things, that's good, sure. Try to go, that's great. Randomize stats again. I'm okay with, we need at least some points into vitality. There are, let's go with that. We'll do that. We'll do 9 and 10. 6 and 4. Can we get a little better than that? That's great. Okay, I've spent so far about 10 hours playing the game, and I figured I would do a complete, brand new run for everybody. The hillside we once called home was swallowed up by a sudden blizzard. Everything perished. Compelled by our fate, we set out on a long journey to find a new home. Rivers flowed towards the sun as the land stretched out to touch the sky. As far as our eyes could see, the wilderness broadened before us. In the end, we found our safe place, a land rich with life. We will continue to accept nature's blessings and tribulations. Our people will survive. We'll prosper and survive. There are a few things I just want to cover before we get in. Your standard map is going to look the same as this one. You do get this nice little beautiful mountain here, and your river is as pretty as can be. Resources are, however, finite. It is WASD to adjust the rotation, and very much like RimWorld, you need to have houses for everybody. There are also ancestral wills. These are achievements that you can go through to unlock different things and get some prestige rewards, making your clan even better and stronger along the way. All of these are important things. Getting the hoe, getting the millet seed, getting all of that ability to actually get farming and have consistent food production is going to be key. This is your major point of interest right here, is your crafting section, creating straw sheds, winter clothes, spears, moving on to bridges, raincoats, slings, pottery, scribing knowledge, moving down the entirety of the tree, and developing your people. The most important piece of research that I think may be a little too far into the research tree is soil piling and rammed earth slab. I think maybe they might be a little too far in. I'd like to see them around this 300 to 600 area. That's just me. I feel like it takes a little too long to get all the way out that way. Gathering, as you can see, is going to take a long time to get up to copper mining. So we are using things like flint axes and mining picks to build up the gathering resources. Herbs, we have to send our people out to collect herbs. Foraging is just going around and foraging everything out there. Harpooning, fishing, great way to go about that. Our goal is to get to Fish Pond. Then there is hunting, and getting our hunting all the way up will get us direwolf domestication, which will increase our husbandry as well and allow us to make all different types of stuff. Archery and getting bow and arrow, throwing bone spears. All of these are fantastic upgrades that are important to have. Then is getting our husbandry up with chickens, cheese, sheep, all the good stuff. And then simple anti-corrosion is food preparation. So there are a lot of things that we need to do, and we are going to play this for an hour. So as you can see, we have berry bushes all around us. There is going to be millet, but we don't have millet available right now. What we can do, however, is we can send people out to search for herbs, which is one of the best things that we can do. We just need to have the food to do it. Next will be quests popping up, much like RimWorld. They will show up over time. First quest, Who Are They, is unlocking in 10 days. This is when we first start getting attacked, but all that said and done, I have ranted on for far too long with not much going on. So let's start the basics. So let's get the flint spears equipped. Let's then mark some trees for gathering. We are going to start piling stuff up. We are going to try and get as much of this taken care of. We will forage food, gather resources. We right now have 500 meat, 600 berries. Several important things we want to do. Where is it? Structure. First and foremost, let's build a storage shed right here. Then we're going to, ooh, that's a nice little addition now. Then we're going to add the roof. There are some other things that we can do with housing to make houses for everybody. This will also help get our construction up as well and make sure that everybody has their own place to sleep. And then we're going to be putting things like our furniture in. Right? Right. So everyone gets their own straw beds. It's not even, and that annoys the crap out of me. We'll go here, I guess. And we'll go here. We'll start working on these little things. The other things is work assignments. As you can see, everyone is here. I like to do one thing that is very important, and that is assign people to very specific roles, so at least I know some stuff is always going to be taken care of. So if we get the women there, we can then focus on some gathering resources, and we're actually going to put everybody on resource gathering. But what we're also going to do is pick 2 men to work on crafting and building, and then 3 of the women here, and we'll do 1 of them for managing dead, medical care, herbalism as one. So Sokka will be the one who takes care of all of that. I'll actually reduce her so I can push her to... Let's go keeping her focused on fishing and fishing. And we have 2 people fishing. Gives the men the time to hunt and herd. And I think that takes care of everything right now. So this will be our general area storage. As we get stuff built up, further on will get us to all the other areas, and it's going to take a few days. We are going to play for an hour, so this is something we don't know yet. We can't actively do anything with it. This is where we have to then search for herbs. We can take who is our assigned herbalist, who is going to be our best. So our assigned herbalist is Sokka. Let's send Sokka, and let's send Bolna. We'll send Bolna, we will send Sokka, and we will send them out with, let's say, 60 berries. It will give them 3 days. Let's give them, how many is 120? 6 days. Let's send them out for 6 days with 120 berries. It will alleviate some pressure on the tribe at home, and that is one of the key points that we need to focus on, is alleviating the pressure at home. Another piece of advice is using the 1 and the 2 key to speed up time. Unlike RimWorld, we do get a beautiful +8 upgrade, and as everyone starts building, things start looking so much smoother. The other thing we are going to need is storage. And we move the storage to under here, and now everything has a storage spot. The other very important thing to build up is getting a meat drying rack as well as a fruit dryer. Both of those are going to be key pieces of importance. And then the final thing that is super duper, uber stuper important to the entire tribe as a whole is building their lives around the bonfire. Now, when you do this, you want to make sure that the whole tribe can sit together and enjoy themselves around the fire. It's one of those key things that this is a great way where people are able to share the creations that they're coming up with. So as we invent new things, as you can see here, we're already doing a fantastic job gathering, crafting. Where's fishing? Fishing, already beginning with fishing. It is going to improve the lives of our people dramatically. The downside about the fishing spots will eventually run out of fish. They have 200 fish to start. As you can see, we are already running low. How do we get more food? How do we get more reliable food? Bora, I'm actually going to have you focus solely on food preparation. And that way, we can work on making a ton of dried berries. Let's go ahead and make 100 dried berries for now. Everything dry out. As you can see, the berries after 36 days will dry out. We have all of our meat right now drying on the rack. It's going to take 9 days and 9 hours for that to dry out. The next thing we are going to need to build is probably going to be one of our more important buildings. What we'll be able to do here is build a crafting room, and that is going to be one of the extra important locations for us to develop our tribe further. We build 2 crafting benches, and we build a fishing area, and then a weaver's bench. All the simple things that we need. The other very simple thing we need is a seeds bench. And we'll go over what everything does once they are fully completed, built up, and done. We'll also put a herbs bench and a soothing bench. So this is going to help build up our creations and get everything going on that aspect. Meanwhile, we do have 1 person fishing, meaning we are going to be saving those fishies a lot longer. All right, we will get the last house built and everything will look good. And yes, I am building a driveway to each hut. Why? I don't know exactly, but I think having everyone have a driveway hut, or have a driveway to their hut, I think is a good idea. As you can see, with the gathering of resources, with the crafting, we are actually building really quick, and even our herbalism is doing fantastic while those ladies are out. The other thing we are going to need to do is I need to start working on some husbandry. As much as I do not want to. And there is a reason for that, and it is mostly that chickens tend to be a food hog, and it eats into the storage that we have. They returned. It's been 6 days. Beautiful. All right. So, within the 6 days, they come back with unknown crops and unknown herbs. And the best part about having unknown crops and unknown herbs return is we can do 2 areas. We can taste the unknown crops, and we have 3, and we're going to make sure that who it is doing it is the person we want doing it. That is Bolon Talon. I actually am going to take herbalism off command, and I'll just have Bolon, you move over there, and Sokka, I want you tasting the crops. So what she's going to do is run the risk of food poisoning, eating certain herbs or tasting them. And what's going to happen is she's going to increase her foraging. As you saw just there, her foraging went all the way up to 17. And that is now we're at 28. So if you look down here, we come to foraging. We're now nearly all the way up to 50. And that's fantastic. She is at 39. The other thing that we're able to do is taste unknown herbs. And that is exactly what Sokka is going to do, is taste some unknown herbs. After that, we will set her on her way. And this also runs the risk of her poisoning herself while increasing her herbs and foraging. And I think actually if we spread the foraging out among all the women, it should even out their abilities quite well. And now look at her. She's a 39 in herbs, 39 in foraging. The next thing we need to do is have our craftsmen start making some simple things. And what I'd like to do is maintain 6 harpoons. Move on to the crafting bench. We are going to make and maintain 5 axes, as well as 5 flint blades. And we are going to then move over to pickaxes. We're going to do the same thing as 5, maintaining that. And we are going to also maintain 6 flint spears. Once we got that, we can start working on bone needles. And I think, potions-wise, let's see, up here we have 18 herbs, and we can make potions. Now, how long does our potions last? They last forever, and our herbs last forever. But you know what we're going to do? We are going to make sure we have a surplus of potions created. But we're also going to need to build ourselves a little chicken corral. The beauty about the chicken corral is it does allow us to breed chickens and ensure we have a stable food supply of meat. It does mean we also need a stable food supply of berries and millet. How are we doing on this? 89. We are nowhere near close. Let's go ahead and just cancel that. We've got a ton of dried berries. I think we're in good business for that. We have 500 meat drying on the air dryer. 3 days left for that to progress and for us to have a ton of dried meat. All right. Estimated time of next pillaging, Winter 2, Year 1. So, in a handful of days, no, actually, not that far. It does go fairly quick. I would say in a handful of days. So they are coming in with 2 flint spears, and that is about it. No armor, no bows, which means our creations for self-defense. I want to get us to sling as quickly as possible. Bora is doing a great job with cooking right now, which is already got us in planting, and now we need I can't say it. Domesticization, sure. Domestication. How about that? How about just domestication? Oh, we just got to get it done and out of the way. Build. What is there anything new we can build yet? I don't believe there is. However, much like RimWorld, always the smartest thing you can do is build yourself a couple weapon racks, and at some point we will need clothes racks. Now, I'm so used to pushing B to harvest certain resources, and I kind of wish that was still very much the case. There's a ton of stuff for us to be gathering, pulling together, putting together. Look at him, look at him, look at him. Hey guys, look, I caught me a chicken. I'm gonna call him Philip. Yeah, he's Philip the chicken. Look at him go, Graknar hail with Philip the chicken. Now, we will need to give Philip the chicken those 60 fresh berries. We just upgraded our hunting, which is awesome. What else are you carrying, my friend? Sticks. All right. Please feed the animals. Take all 60 food and make sure that young Philip here, it's a girl, Phyllis, will stick with Phyllis. That way it is a fair set and even. Please, now all the men are armed with flint spears. Holy guacamole, that is a mother load of chickens. I think we are good. How many chickens do we have right now? We have 5 chickens. Let's hold off on capturing the juveniles. We right now have plenty of juvenile chickens. What is going to be the most important is getting another herb search out so we can get more millet. And this time we are going to send just Sokka out by herself. I've yet to encounter an issue where I've had a forager, a wild forager, end up in big trouble. We actually do have enough bone needles, and I think that will be a smart move. If we start getting the bone needles and then we start getting the winter clothes, that's going to prepare us at least for the coming winter. And once we get the coming winter taken care of, we should be in really good position for armor and the like. Now, much like RimWorld, there are certain structures that are just super important to have, and the War Drum is one of them. And that is going to allow us to call everybody to arms when we need them. And then there is the pyre that we can set up to eradicate the dead. Also an important piece. What we can do as well is get some very simple standing torches that just help increase the total of construction knowledge that we have as a tribe. And we have plenty of grass. Why don't we get to making some rope? We are going to need a fair amount of rope for one of the most important weapons, which goes to every woman that is a part of the tribe. So you have 268 dry meat. That dry meat will last for quite some time, and it is going to make things a lot easier for us. Forage wild millet. Designate an inventor. Who is one of our best lady foragers that we have right now? Food Prep 888. Beautiful. Bola, you are the designated Forage Wild Millet Scholar, which is then going to get me to create another new hut. We're just going to build it a little bit larger. And that way it also adds to our cooking experience. We'll go to about here. And this is where we will spend our time actually cooking all of our food. How is the hunting? Ooh, and we discovered, perfect. This is where everything starts coming into play. We start now developing multiple inventors. So let's see, building and crafting. We can do Noglock for the bridge and for the raincoat. Another important thing to have. We will do Gorlak Dree. And we are halfway to the important stuff, like Sling. There is one crazed direwolf heading for your settlement. Alrighty. After 2 days, 7 hours, they will be back to the tribe. Perfect. So now what we do, because there is a direwolf coming our way, we are going to prepare the men of the tribe to engage with this direwolf. We are only going to involve the men within this conflict because they are sacrificable. It is the women, as we know, that are the important parts of the tribe, because without them, there is no tribe. Engaging the direwolf in direwolf combat. With 4 individuals fighting, much like RimWorld, the more people you have on it, the better off you are. Gorlak does run the worry of being injured. However, Graknar, the handsome man he is ensuring we get all the resources out of that direwolf. This does affect the mood of our people. So if we look at status, animals gone mad, not yet soothed. And what we can do is, while we are missing our soother, we can put Bolana on soothing, and we can just kind of pull her off foraging real fast to get her to come and work as our soother. This will get everyone to calm down and feel less scummy for killing an enraged direwolf. And I do love that, this is a genuinely good mechanic. And it's the fact that it is people that are meant to be primitive, but are supporting each other in a way that allows them to feel connected to each other and not feel like we're just throwing these abandoned individuals off into the wild to be by themselves. This is Chicken 2. We're going to call you Butch. Second Rooster. We're going to call you Nugget. Chicken 10, you're a boy. You're going to be Dinner. Let's see. This chicken. Sally. Chicken 7, you're going to be Sasha. So we have Phyllis, Sasha, Sally, Dinner, and Jesus, Butch. No, it was Nugget. Nugget was getting his nugget on. Jesus. I don't think Butch's name was saved. Now he's Butch. All right. New discovery. Grinding herbs. Ignore. Beautiful. Because right now, we don't have our herbalist here. But we are working on our creation. So as you can see, as they actually work on these and talk to the tribe about what it is they are looking to discover through this standing area here, they are able to bring the tribe together in a way that is incredibly unique to the game and makes research more of a full cooperative effort among the entirety of the tribe. So I think it's actually one of the best and most important features added to the game. And now that we have been kind of hunting things for a while, we are going to need to start gathering more fish food. So we will need to have people fishing more. The pyre here is waiting for a corpse. We will put dead bodies there when we get attacked in a few seasons. Few seasons. This is 2 seasons. It's not that crazy of a deal. Oh, I love this part. So we finally have someone who's sick. We actually have 2 people, and a part of this that is going to be the most important for us to take care of is ensuring that they don't stay sick for long. So we're going to make sure that Thorka and Krazara both take potions, and the potions is just medicine. It's going to help them get over being sick, and it will improve their health and keep that sick from spreading to the entire tribe. Crushing herbs into a paste to cover a wound helps quicken healing. Potion efficiency +3. This is going to help our sick get sicker, get less sick faster and make them healthier. And as we move through, fishing is going to be the slowest. I would say this, if you want to get fish pond so you have another source of food that you don't have to do a lot of work for, because the moment you get fish food discovered, you are going to have an easier time making as many fish food meals as you can. And grinding herbs finally invented. I love it. Everything is coming up us. We are almost... We just have a ton of food preparation that we have to do to get a lot of our stuff done. So what we're going to do is we're going to force the men to build. Lads, get to building. And we will actually move this over here as well. You know what? To hell with it. Let's get a second lady on the cooking aspect of things. And what I want to do before the first attack is done, because once we finish our first combat, I will call the video and I'll give you my final thoughts about the game. I will say I do enjoy the game. There is a little bit less in the way of intimacy with the characters that we kind of don't have when it comes to when it comes to RimWorld. Whereas RimWorld, there is that intimacy, that is that you grow and come to know your characters quite well. And you grow this bond with them. And I think a lot of that has to do with the character bar being here instead of at the top here. Does that mean I want to have a complete and total RimWorld conversion? No, I don't want to have a RimWorld conversion, but what I really would enjoy... But what I would like to do is have a bit more of that connection with the characters, and I'm not quite certain how that can be improved upon, but I think there could be some good solid ways for them to get there. Now we're in one of the best portions of the game, is getting the sling, then pottery, which will allow us to build a kiln. Ooh boy. Who's that? Gorlak. We'll take care of that. Scribing as well. Scribing is going to be one of your most important aspects of moving your colony forward and getting massive boosts of research done and being able to ascribe things to these crafting stone tablets. We're going to do herbalism, and we're going to do... Let's go ahead and do fishing. So how does this work? Well, it works very simply. Here is crafting right here. So we will take Nog. Nog has quite a bit of crafting experience. And what this does is allow us to translate all of our crafting knowledge from our characters onto these stone tablets, so when they meet an untimely end, we don't really have to worry about losing that knowledge. There are a lot of things that between this game and Going Medieval, I think could be improved greatly. I would like to see a better control of the resource area for us to focus on harvesting and the like. Those are just kind of like the small little minor details. Pottery has been invented. Ignore. Perfect. Sling has been invented. And clay pot and kiln. Now, what we do is we make our slings. We're only going to make 4. We'll do 5. We will maintain the 5. The slings, as I said, are going to go to the women, and that way when we engage in combat with other tribes and hostile forces, we don't really have to worry too much about whether or not they're going to get hurt. The further away from combat that the women are, the better off they are going to be, and we are going to be able to keep them alive more reliably. So let's take a look at our chicken pen right now. We have nugget, we have dinner. Dinner, it is actually time to butcher you. And scribing has been invented. Perfect. Scribing is going to actually have to go, I think, in a different hut. Scribing is going to be one of our other important structures that we need. Scribing is going to open us up to more quests being able to complete. So nutrition in the swamp, we have 9 days to avoid task failure. It will give us 2 days to get there. We need to create 5 bones of knowledge for husbandry, and it will give us 150 foraging experience if we're able to get this done. So we need nutrition. Where is... do we not have... no, wait. We need husbandry knowledge. As if we have that. I always forget how long it takes. It takes 15 hours to make 5. We're not going to be able to make it. It's not going to happen. And that is unfortunate. But having them made up for later on and choosing one at a time to make as the days go by would probably be one of the best choices that you have in the long run. It's not possible for us to make 5 and still get there in time to avoid the failure on the task. It sucks. It would make life so much better if we could have that extra foraging skill, but it's just not going to happen. 30 crafting, perfect. Let's get Gorlak engraving here. What I'm really hoping for is getting a quest that will give us husbandry. Because if we can get husbandry, it saves us, but I don't think the experience you get from doing standard animal care is enough in the early game to get using to things like sheep. So as you can see, there were fishing spots here, but they are now gone. So one thing we are going to do, now that that is the case, and they do not grow back, as far as I have learned from playing this game, once the fish are gone, they do not grow back. And that is a bit of a shame, but it does make you really try to focus on that early push to get yourself something along the lines of the fish pond. Here's our invasion. This is it. And I'll give you my thoughts after this. View intruders. It is winter. They are here to eat our food, steal our people, and something other in the sort. How do we defend against this? Well, first, we've built the war drum. We do a command. Now, everyone moves here. We are in danger with Khazra. And what we're going to do just in case is have her come down this way instead. The men will move to the front, while the women engage from the distance. And as you can see, the assault of the enemy forces ends quickly as our people ensure victory for themselves. We are wounded, and our people will go back to their lives as a whole, but Sakura, as our medicine woman, can I click on Sakura, please? As our medicine woman, as you can see here, herbs, 57, this does ensure that burning the bodies of the dead keeps us from having to deal with any major issues. About Primitive Society Simulator. Well, within the first year, we have managed quite a number of creations, getting all the way up to 134 in crafting, which is very easy to do. Gathering resources, 115. We've started grinding herbs. Next would be moving to herb selection. Then we've managed very quickly to get forage wild millet all the way up, almost able to be making berry soups and millet porridges to increase our statistics both in vitality and in intelligence. Fishing has taken a bit of a hiccup. We haven't started utilizing lobster traps, which would push us over the hump to get to bone harpoons, fish soup, nets, and fish pond, which is a great way to have a constant resource of food coming in to your people. We also, unfortunately, haven't gotten enough hunting done in the first season to get direwolf domestication. What I would like to see from the full launch of the game is the ability to go out into the wild and hunt for direwolf. One thing I would like to see is that this search herb tab be utilized for more than just searching herbs. My reasoning behind that is I think it is a little too slow to improve husbandry. It's a little too slow to do hunting, and sending out hunting parties while not having to worry too much about the sheep in your own folds or the chickens on your own map constantly. I would like the ability to send my people out to do hunting on other maps as well. Once that's implemented in the game, I think that's going to be a fantastic thing. It would give us more opportunities to improve husbandry. It would give us more opportunities to improve hunting as well and get those types of things done. Even sending people out to do fishing expeditions and coming back with new fish or just fish in general. That would give it a little bit of that RimWorld flair of being able to go out, set up a camp. Granted, that is with a mod, but it would get us that ability to go out, set up a camp, and be able to ensure that our people are doing well with food. I think the ability of being able to save acquired knowledge is definitely a boon above where RimWorld is at. It definitely makes the game feel like the developers are caring about the total accumulated knowledge that you get, not only as a player, but as a tribe as a whole. It allows you to impart that knowledge onto the next generation and see that they are well taken care of. There is a whole birthing child care system that you don't really have to engage with. You just have to make sure that people are fed, which means the babies will be fed as well. Once that is taken care of, you then have children. You need to just make sure the children are clothed, and then you assign mentors to the children, where they will then teach them the basics that they've learned over the months and years that they've been apart. People and animals do grow rather quickly, and that is a nice thing to see. Of course, the age gaps aren't really what they say they are, but even chickens, as you can see, grow very quickly, and we very easily can get overwhelmed by the amount of chickens that we have and have to feed. That means making sure you keep your chicken population down during the winter is key, letting it blow up and explode during spring, summer, and fall, so you can then dry up as much meat over the course of a season as you can. The crafting system feels, at some points, a little redundant with how little there is and how often I feel like I'm building the same structure over and over and over again. And it does make me feel a little, it does make it feel a little monotonous to level up the crafting and the building experience as a whole as well. Again, that is part of the reason you want to have somebody making bone shards with knowledge that you can trade with your neighbors, and make sure that everyone's got a little bit of something to increase and push yourself through the generations to the point where you are making forged weaponry. You're making bronze arrows, blades, hoes, iron meteor blades, getting yourself stone walls, even the wheel to build a cart to make hauling things easier as well. Of course, that does include domesticating animals for improving everything along the way, farming and the like, as well as getting your fishing taken care of, crocodile armor really solid, saber-tooth domestication, rhino hide armors, all these things playing key parts in that end game and making you feel like you've done a good job pushing everybody to that deeper end of the research tree. What I can say about Primitive Society Simulator is I think for an early access game, you can get a fair amount of hours in getting everyone upgraded, starting to build more than just these simple grass huts that are open to the elements. You can start building houses, making sure everybody is comfortable, ensuring that no one is really starving and having a struggle to survive. You can then start building into the mountain range, getting yourself a nice solid looking temple, and making sure that your people have farms, walls, and ways to defend themselves and not really worry too much about what comes your way. You can, of course, build massive walls to rain arrows and spears down upon your foes that use siege mammoths to attack you, saber-toothed tigers, and dire wolves as part of their military to try and bring down what society you thought you were going to construct. And needless to say, I think that is probably some of the most fun and entertaining gameplay that I've had the pleasure of engaging with. All in all, I would say that for me, Primitive Society Simulator is a solid 7 out of 10 with plenty of room to grow to get to even bigger heights. It is a very small team. It is literally made by a handful of people, and they have done a fantastic job with the game so far. I would love to see what improvements they make over the course of the next year. I would like to see the UI be a little bit more colorful. It looks very flat and kind of grayed out, makes it very difficult to see, when most of the time I feel like I am looking at a very colorless field. And that is probably two of my biggest gripes, is just I would like to see more color in the game. I would like to see a bit more pop. Otherwise, I think the game is a fantastic play, and I think it is one that you can sink a good amount of hours to in a run to try and build your caveman society all the way up to a near medieval society, kind of in that early Bronze Age, late Bronze Age era. I do think there are some points where the research needs to be improved upon, but those are minor things that will come and go, and maybe it won't be such a big deal as the game gets further along in its development and they add more researches along the way to make it feel like you're not just building the same building over and over and over again just to try and get construction up, crafting up, and always kind of maintaining the crafting. However, weaponware and toolware does move on very quickly, so perhaps the constant creation of tools and the like is how they imagine the crafting creations bar, which also includes construction, to increase further on down the line. I think husbandry could be upped a little bit more and could be improved a little bit faster to see us getting a bit more experience than what is available. But I do like the husbandry system as its own little system. It is a lot better than that of RimWorlds. It is a lot better than that of many other titles in the colony sim genre. So I think it is a good spot where it feels good, but I would like to see the XP gain be a little bit more. I think Primitive Society Simulator is a game that you should give an opportunity to, and you should pick it up if this game interests you. It is a fun starting point for games like Going Medieval and RimWorld. So if you wanted to do a full-on run that feels more akin to growing your society. Starting with Primitive Society Simulator, going into medieval, going medieval, and then going into RimWorld, and kind of thinking about your society as it grows, and then taking in those characters in each way. Thank you so much to YSH Big Dove for allowing me to playtest the game and provide a review for it. I think you have a wonderful gem here in your hands that I would love to see grow and become more and more of a fully fleshed out game. You guys are doing amazing updates. You are keeping in great communication with the community as a whole, and you have a wonderful staff. So I wish you guys the very best of luck. Thank you so much. I look forward to touching back with this game in a handful of months and seeing what patches have come out and how the game has improved, and updating my review as the game goes on and updating my thoughts to where one day I definitely think I can do a full series in this game at some point, and I look forward to that day. So thank you so much. I look forward to what you guys do in the future. With that, shout out to the patrons. Thank you so much for supporting the channel on Patreon. You too can support the channel on Patreon by heading down in the description below. There's a link there. You can also support the channel by becoming a channel member. Shout out to my channel members. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel here on YouTube. You can also support for free by hitting like, subscribe, the bell notification, commenting, and letting me know your thoughts and sharing with those you think might enjoy the content. Have a wonderful rest of the day. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Peace.